For the longest time, artificial general intelligence, AGI, felt like something straight out of science fiction. But that's changing. It's accelerating from this distant dream into something very, very real. And honestly, it's happening way faster than almost anyone thought possible. So let's dive right into this revolution.
At the heart of this whole thing is one single, powerful question. We're all used to AI that can spot patterns or predict the next word in a sentence. But what happens when it can actually reason? When it can think and adapt and solve brand new problems it's never seen before?
And that's exactly what AGI is. This is the core definition. It's not about being really, really good at just one thing, like chess or writing emails. It's about having the cognitive flexibility to learn and apply knowledge to any intellectual task a human can do. We're talking about general adaptable intelligence.
Okay, so this is probably the most crucial distinction to understand, the difference between what we have now and what's just around the corner. On the left, that's narrow AI. Think of our current tools, like Siri, or even the really powerful ones like GPT-4. They are brilliant specialists, incredible pattern matchers. But on the right, you've got AGI. That's the generalist. It's not just a better tool, it's a thinker, designed from the ground up for autonomous reasoning and learning. To really get a handle on this shift, researchers have come up with a framework to kind of map out AI's progress. Think of it like a ladder. It shows us exactly where we are right now and just how high this technology could actually climb.
Now, what's so wild about this is where we actually stand today. I mean, despite all the incredible hype, our most advanced systems are only at level 1 emerging. That's basically on par with an unskilled human. The entire industry is now in an all-out sprint to hit level 2 competent, and the predictions say that could emerge as soon as 2026.
So how in the world are we making this jump? What's the secret? Well, the answer is a fundamental, game-changing shift in how these AI models actually work. It really is a revolution in their ability to think. This is a brilliant way to understand it, using an idea from psychology. The old AI, that was all System 1 thinking. Fast, intuitive, automatic, basically a gut reaction. It was just predicting the next word. But the new AGI models, they're being built for System 2 thinking. Slow, deliberate, logical. This is the difference between a guess and genuine, structured thought.
And here's the secret sauce for how they do it. The technical breakthrough is something called test time compute. To put it simply, we're giving the AI a thinking budget. So instead of just blurting out the first thing that comes to mind, it now has the time and resources to explore different lines of reasoning, find its own mistakes, and actually self-correct before it gives you an answer.
And the results are, well, they're pretty stunning. Just look at this benchmark. It's a test for abstract reasoning that's specifically designed to be memorization-proof. In 2024, the best AIs were scoring a measly 4%, but by 2026, a new model scored 87.5%, actually beating the average human score. This is clear proof that the reasoning gap is closing fast.
Okay, so this isn't just theory or stuff happening in a lab anymore. These new reasoning abilities are already being rolled out, and they are transforming some of our most important industries as we speak.
Let's just take medicine. In drug discovery, AGI is screening millions and millions of compounds to find potential treatments for diseases like Huntington's. In oncology, it's building what they call omni-model patient models. That means it's combining every single type of medical data, scans, genetics, lab results, to create a complete picture of a patient's health. It can even take a person's entire complex medical history and synthesize it in seconds, helping doctors find patterns a human might miss. And the impact is just incredibly broad. It's being used to tackle what people call wicked problems, those huge, complex challenges like climate change, by optimizing entire renewable energy grids. And in space, it's literally becoming the brain for agentic AI, systems that can act on their own, powering rovers that navigate the surface of Mars completely autonomously.
But all of this incredible power brings with it a really profound challenge. The rise of AGI is forcing a kind of social reset, creating what some are now calling a crisis for cognitive labor.
The scale of this disruption is just massive. The IMF is predicting that AI could impact a staggering 40% of all jobs around the world. And this isn't just about factory automation anymore. This is coming for knowledge work.
And the most immediate impact is right at the entry level. Projections are already showing that up to 30% of the hours worked in junior, white-collar roles could be automated away. That is a fundamental change to the job market for the entire next generation. So what does this new economic reality actually look like? Well,
As AI starts doing the cognitive work that humans used to do, we're seeing a direct threat to the so-called professional class. This trend could really widen the wealth gap, concentrating even more resources in big AI-powered companies. And all of that, in turn, is seriously ramping up the debate around big solutions, like universal basic income.
So with the stakes this high, the whole focus has shifted to a global race. And it's not just a race to build AGI, it's a race to control it, to make sure this incredibly powerful technology is developed safely and, hopefully, for the benefit of all of us.
The safety strategy really comes down to 3 key pillars. First is deliberative alignment. That's about teaching the AI to actively reason about safety rules, not just follow them blindly. Second is scalable oversight, which is a clever idea where we use other, less powerful AIs to help us supervise the systems that are actually smarter than we are. And third, and maybe most importantly, is establishing clear, universal red lines on what AIs are never allowed to do.
And on the world stage, this is a really complex puzzle. You've got the United Nations trying to create a global dialogue. At the exact same time, you have nations scrambling for what's called sovereign compute, trying to build their own independent AI infrastructure so they don't have to rely on anyone else. Then you have practical models like Singapore's that give corporations a real framework for accountability.
So, the billion-dollar question, when does this all actually happen? Well, the timelines are shrinking dramatically. The leaders of the major AI companies, they think we could see AGI between 2027 and 2030. That's just a few years away. Forecasters and researchers are pointing to the early 2030s. The old academic view that this was decades away, 2040 or later, that's quickly becoming the minority opinion.
This quote really puts the urgency of it all into perspective. The next few years aren't just another period of tech progress. The decisions we make right now in this incredibly critical window will very likely determine the entire course of the 21st century.
So, there's no doubt about it. AGI is coming, and it is going to rewrite our future. The only question that's left, really, is a simple one. Are we ready to be the ones holding the pen?